What is going on, everyone? So considering that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is coming out next weekend, I am going to rank in this video all of the previous Marvel Cinematic Universe movies that have already come out. Some on these lists will probably surprise you, some of them will probably get you pretty mad, and there will definitely be some that you agree with. So it's my list, don't hate on it, it is my opinion. And I cannot wait to tell you guys all my thoughts about all of these movies. There are 14 movies in total, so this is going to be a longer list. Let us begin. Number 14. Coming in at number 14 is The Incredible Hulk. Now, the reason why it's so low on this list is because Mark Ruffalo was not the Hulk in this movie. So this one is the only Marvel movie that feels like it's separated from all 13 other Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. And also, the movie itself is just okay. Number 13. At number 13, it is everyone's least favorite movie, probably in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that is Iron Man 2. This one just felt like a plot that made absolutely no sense, and I was pretty bored throughout this entire movie. I felt like the movie itself was not necessary to be made, and overall, I just felt this movie was forgettable. Like I said in my review for Captain America Civil War, the only reason why this movie was actually made, in my opinion, was just to introduce Black Widow. That's about it. Number 12. At number 12, this one is going to surprise you a lot, and it is The Avengers. The Avengers is a movie that I feel like is very overrated. It is actually somewhat of a drag. When I watch this movie, I get pretty bored. There is about 45 minutes of just talking on the ship in this film, and it felt like almost the Phantom Menace when the Jedi are basically just talking in the Jedi Council for about 30 minutes, and the movie's ending is just okay. I think the reason why so many people like this movie is because it's all the superheroes from Marvel coming together for once, but in my opinion, I just see right through that, and I don't think this movie's that good. Number 11. At number 11, this is another one that many of you guys will definitely disagree with, and it is Iron Man. I like the first 20 minutes of this movie, and I also love Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I think he is great, and pretty much in all of Iron Man movies, Robert Downey Jr. is the reason why I actually can watch them. But I feel like this movie didn't really have all that much going on, and the ending was forgettable, to say the least. The ending battle we know that takes place between him and Jeff Bridges, I just did not dig it at all, and I thought this movie was a little bit disappointing after viewing it. Number 10. At number 10, it is Thor: The Dark World, another movie that many people do not like, but in my opinion, I think it's pretty fun. I do like the whole brother connection between Loki and Thor, and I feel like there are some pieces of this film that I really can find very enjoyable. The villain, though, he's extremely forgettable, and there are some pieces of the story that just don't mesh that well, but the ending left me intrigued for Thor Ragnarok, so that's a huge bright spot with this one. Number 9. At number 9, it is the Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, many people were probably confused why I like this one better than the first one, and to be honest, I feel like there was a lot more going on. Ultron as a villain, I liked him. He wasn't the greatest. I just think the movie itself, yes, there are definitely some flaws with it, but it's something I can watch more than the Avengers. The Avengers was just a complete setup movie. This movie was there just for money, and I understand that, but it's also something I could definitely see myself viewing more times than the first Avengers movie in the future. Number 8. At number 8, it is Iron Man 3. Robert Downey Jr. is the reason why I actually have this movie so high on this list. There are so many good jokes in this film. I think it's actually the funniest Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, and that's why it's here on this list. And also, the story is interesting. I thought the antagonist in the film, the Mandarin, I liked him until there was a reveal in the movie where I was like, that's a little disappointing, but I felt like the build-up until the climax of this movie was actually really good, so that's why I like Iron Man 3. Number 7. At number 7, it is the last Marvel movie I saw in theaters, and that is Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange was a great casting there. Overall, I thought they cast did a really good job. Mads Mikkelsen as the villain in this film was very good. The story here I also thought was very enjoyable. There are a few things that I had problems with in the film, but not too many. And also, I loved the whole Inception style of this film. That was something I found was very interesting and something I could definitely watch again. Number 6. At number 6, it is Thor. I like Thor. It's a very enjoyable movie in my opinion. Maybe one of the most enjoyable, rewatchable films in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. The reason I like this one so much is because I like it when Thor goes to Earth and he has to communicate with the humans, and I just feel like it was very interesting and had a good script and overall was a good movie, and it's something I could rewatch so many times, and it's definitely one of the most rewatchable movies on this list, and Natalie Portman in this film, she's pretty hot. Number 5. At number 5, it is Captain America, the first Avenger. I like World War II, and that's the reason why I actually adore this film. I love the beginning of Captain America's story. I think it was told very well through the director's eyes, and I also just like it how he's in World War II. It starts out in the 40s, and there's a lot of things going on with the Nazis in this film, and overall, I just found this to be an extremely enjoyable movie. Chris Evans as Captain America was great, and also the Red Skull in this movie. He's a pretty good villain. Number 4. At number 4, it is Guardians of the Galaxy. This is some people's favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. In my opinion, I do think it's top 5. It is a very funny movie, a very good soundtrack, and a great cast here. Chris Pratt in this film is very funny. Dave Bautista is also fantastic. Overall, I thought the casting was great. I feel like the story was pretty strong too. There were a few things that I felt like they could have done better, and also the villain, I feel like he was very good as a villain, but I don't think he was given as much to do, and I feel like if he was, this movie could potentially have been top 3 for me. Number 3. At number 3, it is Ant-Man. This movie is also very funny, and there are so many times in this movie I was laughing. Paul Rudd as Ant-Man in this film is so funny, and a perfect casting there, and Michael Pena in this movie is also really funny, and I love their chemistry in this film. It was perfect, and overall, I felt like this movie had a lot of good things going for it. It felt like it could have been a movie away from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It just felt like a good, fun summer film about an Ant-Man and a wasp and a lot of other bugs. So it was a really fun movie. Number 2. At number 2, this movie came out almost a year ago now, and it is Captain America Civil War. The reason why I like this movie a lot now is because the battle between Captain America and Iron Man I felt was very strong, very heavy, and overall very well told from a storytelling perspective, and the fight scene at the airport was so strong, and I loved it so much. I liked the new characters of Spider-Man and Black Panther. I thought they were utilized pretty well, and overall I felt like this movie was one of the deepest and darkest films we've had yet so far in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's definitely the closest thing we've gotten to the Infinity War thus far, and hopefully Marvel continues to go in that direction. Number 1. At number 1, it is Captain America, the Winter Soldier. It's a film I've talked about a couple times now, but in my opinion, this is the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movie we have today. Chris Evans in this movie as Captain America is probably the best we've seen him. Scarlett Johansson has a huge role in this movie as Black Widow. She comes in big. And also, Robert Redford in this movie was just Robert Redford, and he was amazing. This movie is super dark. It is very gritty. The direction of this film was fantastic, and the action in this movie is definitely the grittiest and some of the best we have ever seen in a Marvel movie. I mean, this was like James Bond, for crying out loud. The action in this movie was amazing, and it's something I will continue to come back and watch again and again because the action in this film is fantastic, super well shot. The story here is amazing too. There is a big reveal in this film and I loved it. It's like a spy espionage film, a huge thriller here. There's a lot of things in this movie that were all put in one, and it just gave warmth to my heart. And this movie is easily my favorite of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's pretty much nothing I even have to say negative about this movie. And that is how I rank the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies that have come out so far. I know some of you guys will disagree with my list. That's okay. Please let me know in the comments what you think of my list, and let me know what your list is too. Finally, we're getting into the summer season of movies, and I'm gonna finally be reviewing some more movies coming up within the month of May. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is coming out next weekend. I've heard a couple negative reviews so far of that one, but I'm gonna go in there with zero expectation. I'm just gonna go in and see it and see what happens. Hopefully I actually like it. And there are some videos I cannot wait to make for you guys to see within the next couple of weeks, so look for all those. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.